Hey everyone, welcome back to Debbie's Kitchen, and it's a Sunday going into summertime, so it's 5:30, so we've got like another 3 hours of light. And every Sunday we kind of do the food prep for the week, because my daughter and I, she takes her breakfast, her morning snack, her lunch, and her afternoon snack to her school, and I bring my breakfast and my lunch to my work, because we like to have healthy meals and stuff like that. But the reason I'm doing this video is because we're going to talk about gaps. And in the initial video, in my YouTube intro video, which was filmed like 3 months ago maybe, we were talking about my whole history and from where I had lived, being born in California and then traveled and studied abroad, and then 36 years in Brazil and all that kind of stuff. And so it's been a really hard and a difficult readaptation for my daughter and I back in the States. And so I sat down with her like an hour ago and I said, let's make a list of the things that are just so hard to believe that are more modern there. And then afterwards, of course, we'll do the reverse, which is the things the troublesome things down there that we don't have here, or I mean, as much of. But when we got here and I was preparing to work, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be in the States, everything more modern. In California, I'm going to be in more modern. This is what you think. And we started going right from the beginning. We got a contract to work with the school district. And just as we were finishing the contract, their back office calls me and says, hey, listen, where should we send the check to? And like, figuratively speaking, I mean, like, they're like, no, would you like it sent to your house or to the bank? Or what? Or I'm like, the what? The check. I hadn't heard of a physical check for over 20 years. So then I started getting into American banking. And here's the problem when you do societal gaps. If the most modern thing is the most modern thing that you know, or if that is the best setup that you know, so you're in the United States and you found a bank. I just moved from the terrible, awful First Citizens to US Bank, much better. US Bank, even though it's better, 20 years behind the banking in Brazil for the not so good of a bank there. I mean, it's just such a stark difference, and it makes such a huge difference in your life. So yeah, in Brazil, there's central bank and there's real-time banking. We got Zelle. No, I'm talking real-time banking. I am talking about the ability and security, with much higher security, to be able to take from your account to anybody else's account. Done. That's it. It's done. Done. Business banking, financial, the setups. I mean, here it's like you have to do an ACH, and the ACH is going to come out of your account, and then it's going to go to the other account, and then you're going to go to your bank. Oh no, we're going to charge $50, $40 per wire transfer. Then you have to have your business, if you're a business platform, and then you have to have a business commercial platform. And you got to be joking. And then you got to set them up, and then some will go to some and some won't go to the other. That does not exist in Brazil. It does not exist. It's much more automated. It's quicker, it's faster, it's cheaper. They charge a lot of interest on stuff. But these quick services, just getting money from A to B, much cheaper, quicker, easier, less lethargic. So for those of you who've been following, I had a car, one of my cars was leased, and it had like 600 miles on it, and my dad totaled it in the garage, and it took the insurance 90 days to settle the insurance. So then they call and they say, okay, we've got the problem with the car, the insurance, the bank, whatever, and now we're gonna mail you the check. It takes us 10 days to process it, and then after we process it, it's gonna go to you, and that'll take another 5 to 7 days via snail mail. And then after snail mail, then it's gonna go to they're gonna snail mail it to the lease, to the bank. So the insurance snail mails it to the bank. Then they have another 7 to 10 days to process it. You gotta be joking. Couldn't they just say, here's the money due, here's the thing, send an electronic payment? They're floating the money at the expense of the client. Yes, they float the money for 7 to 10 days, then they agree to float it on the other side 7 to 10 days. They're both making money on the money while we're waiting to get the money for 90 days for a car. And Americans accept it. They accept it. This would never be accepted in Brazil. Processed and paid. Boom. Over and done. I'm not talking about contesting the liability or a process. But once it's been decided to pay. The United States doesn't pay its bills. It takes forever. In Brazil, bing bong. And that gets me back to snail mail. There's no more mail. It's all electronic. I mean, like, the only thing you will ever get in the mail ever is like a government notification of something. But even that's starting to diminish. I mean, it's all electronic. Now you want to talk about electronic and technology? Things in Brazil. Brazil has been, I don't know the exact amount of years, but something like 30 years maybe, has had electronic votes. Yeah, you don't take a paper ballot and put the ballot in the ballot box, and then take the ballots and then have people count them and then recount them, and then take days and weeks. It's like the Americans accept the fact that this is normal. No, in Brazil, extremely secure, there's never been a data breach on this. You go, you vote, and the whole nation gets to watch the votes being tallied digitally, so you know where your candidate's going, what direction. Within 4 to 6 hours after the polls are closed, I'm talking about local, state, federal. All right, let's go further down the line. Things that are outdated. Drives me nuts to go into a parking lot in the United States. You go in, you get a ticket, you can park your car. You gotta not lose the ticket. Not losing the ticket is already, for me, a big one. You go do your stuff, a couple of hours later, go to the parking place, then you have to put it in, and then you have to get it, and then you have to go, then you gotta take the ticket and put it in, get it. It's always hard to get out the window to get it. Brazil, we have the fast track, just like you have in the fast track here. The fast track is red in parking lots, so you go to any mall, anywhere you want that has a fast track, you just drive in, goes up, drive out, goes onto your fast track bill. You want to go to a drive-through, McDonald's? All right, fair enough. You can use, it's not mandatory, but you can use your fast track. So you have a fast track lane, order, go get your food to the drive-through, and out you go, if you consider McDonald's food. Fast track at the gas station. Yeah, that's a good one. Fast track on a toll bridge, on a what do you call this? On a ferry. You can put your car on a ferry and ferry over. At a gas station, it's like Formula One. You drive up, pull it out, pump, drive off. It all comes on your bill at the end of the month. That bill is like on auto pay. It goes, because the banking system's really modern, out it goes, and you're done. Everything itemized, everything gets, and the accounting systems are much more modern, so that itemizes that and it goes. So it has been really hard. It's very wearing to own a business here and have to deal with the banks. The banks do not facilitate business ownership at all. None. It's just so hard. And then you have to reconcile the books. We have an extremely modern bookkeeping system, but even still, each platform, and it takes 1 to 2 days sometimes for a charge to compensate. It's not immediate, so not everything's not in real time. It's outdated, and it's been really hard for me to adjust to. So we talked about fast track, the digital votes, the banking, business invoices. Here you make up an invoice, like, I'm gonna send you an invoice. No, the invoices are already connected to the municipal, state, and feds in Brazil, and it's an electronic system that ties in, and so they all know immediately what taxes are due. But it's really easy because it's like a link goes, the client will get the link, they open it up, they pay, tax separation begins, and that's that. Some of the other things that we really miss here, and that's part of the reason we do our home cooking, is that by law in Brazil, all public schools have home style cooking. The children all have free meals. It's a law. And basically what they do is they have standardized kitchens, like big, huge kitchens that then distribute the main supplements to each school, and the schools have school kitchens. And so they're trained, and then they have like local sourcing for like local producers. Standard rice, beans, 1 to 2 types of protein, meat, chicken, or fish, 2 to 3 types of vegetables, and 1 to 2 types of fruit. That's a lunch. But then there's also like the snacks before, home cooked stuff. So it's cooked into industrial kitchens and served kind of like cafeteria style, not processed food, hot food, and not hot food like a pizza, food. My daughter and I over the last couple of days have been having like culture shock after culture shock of different things. So we've been here for 2.5 years. And in that video that I had said that, for me to be able to be successful here, it requires adapting or readapting to the culture. Let's say adapting, because it's a different culture than when I was a kid. And those gaps in culture, most people imagine that, I was in Brazil, I was in Sao Paulo, and I'm going to be going to California, Los Angeles, and so I'm going to be doing like a upgrade where it's more modern. No. So I actually made a list. I want to follow that list on my computer. But then I was like, well, do that cultural gap thing. And I started kind of getting things ready for tomorrow. So I was going to show you just visually what a little bit of a food gap looks like, okay? Because we're getting ready for tomorrow. Brazilian rice. Not the same grain, but Brazilian rice. Well, what is that Brazilian rice going for tomorrow? What is my daughter gonna eat? Salted, pressure cooked chicken hearts. Chicken hearts with a lot of like Asian cultures eat this, a little bit of the South American, not typical in the United States. Oh, they're so good. Do it in the pressure cooker, so on and so forth. She brings a hot lunch every day to school. Well, how do we do the rice and what is all this flavored with? This is homemade, okay? We just put it in a different jar. But this is, well, let's start with the base. So we've got tons of onions, tons of garlic, and every herb in the world. If it's a green stemmy herb, it goes into this. And we blend it in with lots of olive oil and salt and seasoning. Just a little bit of seasoning because it basically, and it stays for months. So you can do, we do jars and jars and jars of it. Put it in the food processor and then grind everything up and then move it from the food processor to the blender. And then you've got a herb, garlic, onion paste, homemade with lots of olive oil. So every time you go to do something, you just do 1 or 2 globs of this into the frying pan or into a saucepan or whatever. And you have insto flavor that you don't need to go use all these like sodium processed stuff, okay? Well, salad, I don't even know how to say this in English. In Portuguese, it's a tremoço. It's like a bean. It's not a fava bean, but whatever. I don't know. It's a bean used in a lot of salads. And then this is like a cream cheese or a creamy cheese called requeijão. Eat it a lot with like on bread and toast, but it's like yummier. And I like it more than cream cheese. We're getting sidetracked here. My daughter made these. They're gonna be, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it up to the camera. Let's see if we can do it. These are called brigadeiros. They're sweet. Are we able to see that? And you hand roll them. Chef has like a colored one like this. Let's see if we can do that. And they're like chocolate, so it's kind of like a chocolate fudge, but it's softer than a fudge. And then they roll them up and roll them in the sprinkles, different colored sprinkles. And then we keep them in the fridge so they don't melt. Oh, so good, so good. Such a video. All right, this is controversial. A lot of people think that if you're gonna end up with cancer, if you use sweetener, I'm still here, no cancer. Okay, this being said, I was like, well, that's our Brazilian side. Well, what have we got going on the American side? American side is just so much harder because everything that's in our fridge, except for like fresh vegetables and fruit and produce, take out the fresh. Anything else is basically not American. I mean, barbecue sauce, which we don't eat much of. So, I mean, this is what we got. This is what we got in our fridge. That's American. Processed, fatty, salad dressing. Pickles. What else is American? Everything else is like hot sauce, not American. Asian influence, not American. It's hard. But now, what do I have, which is an American habit that embarrasses, I mean, really embarrasses Brazilians when I walk around in Brazil with this? This is like, this is for water. So this follows me everywhere. 5 or 6 a day. I addicted. Okay. This is for like liquidy, juicy things that are cold, but more watery type juice, like cranberry juice, apple juice, those kinds of things, like natural ones. Hot tea, and I got one for hot coffee. So when I'm at work or in the office or in a studio or something like that, I've got that lineup of drinks. People are like, oh my God, she's so American, she's so American, she's so American. Yeah, not a Brazilian thing. Regardless, it's healthier, so it's a habit that all Brazilians should pick up. Okay, so this being said, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna move this all by this. All right, I'm back. Did a little table cleanup here. Another thing Brazil's really big on, generic medication. Has been for a good 25 years, something like that. I'm guessing the time frame, maybe 30. So generic medication is available to the population at 1/10 of the price of, I don't know, just like total, it's a free market for medication. So you don't have that burden on society to be able to take care of its health. Talking about health care in Brazil. I've had 5 surgeries. I'm handicapped. I've got a permanent problem, and I've had 5 really advanced surgeries down there. When I was transferring up here, transferring my medical records, they were like, no, this can't be proper. Your doctor must have made a mistake. So we had to go redo all the images, and they're like, oh my gosh, this still isn't approved up here. Yeah, the healthcare is holistic, it's preventive. Here you with your insurance, you go to do an exam, and they'll do one part of one exam and then get the result to do another part of the other. No, in Brazil, they say, let's take you head to toe, inside out, forwards and backwards. That way, if there is anything, we catch it really quick, one shot, and then done. Now, And I mean, we're watching the US healthcare system, especially with United Health Groups, the whole fiasco. But they just fired their CEO. What was it, 3 days ago, 4 days ago? I don't know. I don't know when this is going to hit YouTube either. Here's another one for healthcare. I had an emergency, and I had to use my international carrier service to be able to go to urgent care or an emergency room in a farmland area. And they're like, yes, give us the fax number. I said, the what number? The fax. And I'm like, what fax do you need? They said, no fax. I'm like, there's no such thing as a fax anymore. Faxes haven't been around. Did I know that the medical system that is 20, 30 years behind down there, especially the information portion, sends faxes? You gotta be joking. The kids are learning on AI and they're sending faxes? All right, here's one. Social services, in the sense that anybody over the age of 60, I think it's usually 60, anybody with any kind of physical impairment or pregnant has preferential lines in supermarkets and banks, free transport, automatically gets to sit down if you're in a bus, on a metro, a train, whatever it is. Airports, imagine you go to the airport and there's this long line and you're elderly or you've got problems like I do. No, preferential line by law. Maternity leave and paid vacation, 4 months, 5 if you want to take the paid vacation with it. Enough time to really adjust to becoming a mom, and paid. It's paid. Is it social medicine? Is it socialized? No, it's not socialized. It's humanized, because then you got to get back to work and back to work hard. So some of the less favorable attributes, and this is where we also feel it in favor here in the United States. In Brazil, the social economic gap is much more pronounced. So the rich are richer and the poor are poorer. And there's fewer rich, and a lot more poor. And the poor is a vulnerable developing nation poor. So the infrastructure for the poor, such as the favelas, the slums, and stuff like that, although they are modernizing and although they are being tackled, and yes, they have the modern technology. So you have the really bad infrastructure in them, but everybody has modern banking. It's a duality. But together with that comes organized crime. And however bad the crime is in the States, the organized crime down in Brazil, because it's politically run. So the political parties are always behind the organized crime. And it's a vicious cycle. The urban centers are densely populated, makes New York not look that dense. Okay, but here I am in Los Angeles and everybody says, oh, LA is such a big city compared to Sao Paulo, Brazil, which I love to death. I love that rush-paced, 24 hours a day urban vibe, living in vertical. I love it. But when people say LA is a big and busy city, sorry, not. LA feels like a big farm. It's missing a goat. When they say LA has a lot of traffic, and the traffic, yeah, there's traffic jams here and there. The worst traffic jam in LA is like Sao Paulo at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, okay? You haven't seen traffic till you get there. And together with the traffic are those billions and zillions and zillions of motorbikes, because the lanes are really narrow, streets are narrow, and it feels like a nest of wasps, you know, coming by. That's not good. So yes, we really enjoy not having those motorcycles here. Brazil has had a really hard time, and that's part of the organized crime, is to modernize both their tax and labor laws. So you have more of an archaic structure for taxation, and for the labor laws are completely outdated. So it makes it much harder for employers to continue employing people in Brazil, and which is why you have one of the biggest startup, like autonomous startup nations. You know, they're not big companies, just individuals going to create their own sole proprietorship just to be able to survive, because the labor laws are so outdated. But there's 2 other things that Brazil lags on. And one is it doesn't invest in its own people. Brazil doesn't invest in research and development. It doesn't invest in sports and culture. They don't invest, okay? So the biggest and best talent is Brazil has mega talent. It's got mega talent in agriculture, agricultural sciences, biosciences, it's technologies, banking, drilling offshore, energy, renewable energies. I mean, there's just a lot, healthcare. So what happens for the lack of investment? It's just so corrupt that it's a brain drain. So Brazil is losing its talent, such as like the reason we came back up here. It's just Brazil's losing its talent right now to the world. And in losing that talent, there becomes a certain arrogance. which is like, oh, okay, well, you're not good enough for us, then go. And those that stay behind, that aren't quite up to par to the brains that have fled, not all of them, and there's a lot of great people that stay, so on and so forth, but there's a level of arrogance that I'm going to call in Portuguese, the Faria Limer syndrome, which is kind of like that Wall Street, hey, I'm the best, and and that arrogance comes across from Brazil the world over when trying to do it. At the same time, Brazilians are friendly, they are more social, and the lifestyle is funner. It's a lot funner, and it's a lot more relaxed. But in the business world, in Brazil, with the lack of investment, it may be a defense mechanism that since nobody's going to defend me, I have to defend myself. But it comes across often as arrogant. And then with that tied in is a lack of respect for people's time. Okay, for a party, everybody knows culturally. If an invitation says 8, you get there at 9:15, 9:30. Party's not going to start till 10 anyways at night. It's going to go till 4 in the morning, till 6 in the morning. But not a meeting and not a school date or, anything that's more professional or more serious. Brazilians have a hard time complying with time. Take in consideration that there's a lot of traffic. So when we're doing that, all of this means that I've had to spend a lot of time really working on adapting, because if I am not adaptable to the environment that I am in, then I'm not going to perform well. And here's the question that I'm going to end this with. Most people struggle to be able to upskill, to adapt to more, but what happens, such as in my case, I've had to adapt to less. Everything in my life right now is less. Less traffic? Okay, that's easy. Less motorcycles? That's easy. Less advancement in technology? Not easy. Less facility in doing business? Not easy. Less flexibility financially? Not easy. Less healthy? Not easy. Less constructive within the health industry? Not easy. So having to adapt to less, coming from the developing nation to the First Nation, is a big gap. And it's a gap that makes no sense. Why does that gap exist? Because Americans are preached to through the status quo. America the beautiful, America the best, this is where the best. And Americans don't live, of course there's Americans that go abroad and there's expats. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't, but most Americans only know what they know. And I'm not gonna say which episode it is because I'm gonna blow it, but on Gap Track, one of our episodes, we'll put it here under the heading, is I know that I know that I don't know. I don't know that I know, and I don't know that I don't know. If I were to overlay those two perspectives, life in the United States, life in Brazil, and I were able to extract the best of both and chuck the worst away, we'd have a new nation. I don't know what it'd be called. For America? I don't know, whatever. Anyways, so that's my gap in culture, and I just want to get that out. If you've never been to Brazil, go. And if you're in Brazil watching this, you guys, venham para cá também, porque vale a pena. Tchau, beijo, see you guys. I'm out.